Hey there, good looking. If building a functional strength is a goal of yours, this is the workout for you. We're performing a total body strength workout, and you are going to need an assortment of dumbbells for this so that we can fatigue the proper muscles with the right amount of load. We're working with compound exercises today, so those are exercises that move multiple joints, so you get more muscles involved per exercise. Now, for reference, I have a set of light all the way to heavy, from 8 pounds all the way to 30 pounds for today's workout. Now, I'll cue you as we go too as to what size dumbbell I recommend for the different areas of the body that we'll be training. Now, you'll also need access to a wall and a chair or a bench. And then stick around to the very end. I have a fun little finisher for us. All right, let's go get started. Before we get started, if you'd like to track your fitness with your watch, press start now. For reference, I used a HIIT setting for today's workout because we are using compound exercises, so the heart rate will be slightly elevated. You can also choose a strength setting on your watch. All right, let's start down on the mat to warm up. On all fours, knees under hips, hands underneath the shoulders, spread those fingertips wide, and then grip the mat with your fingertips. Inhale, let the belly drop, head looks up. Exhale, push the ground away. My friends with osteoporosis, you're going to limit your range of motion, especially as we round up and flex and press the ground away. Last two. One more. Neutral spine, please. Extend right leg, opposite arm, and lift and lower. Keep neutral spine. Hips are squared to your mat. Thumb is pointed up. Leg remains straight as we lift opposite limbs, firing up into our back muscles, while we also get a dynamic length happening in the front of the hip as that leg lifts and in the shoulder as the arm lifts. Last two. One more. Release. Other side. Extend. Thumb up. Ready and up. So we're not throwing our limbs up there. We're placing them. Maintaining integrity in the spine as we do. Gazing at the top of your mat so your neck lines up with the spine. Perfect. Let's do two. One more. Modified plank for me. Drop the hips. Now push the ground away from you, rounding the shoulder blades. Now let the chest drop. My advanced people come into full plank. So we're protracting the shoulder blades and then retracting. It's kind of a strange sensation if you've never done this before. We want to keep the arms straight, push the ground away, keep the hips still. We're just moving through the shoulder blades. Let's do two more. Last one. Beautiful. Knees to ground if they were up. Step forward with the right foot, tuck the back toe under, drive yourself up to stand. Now lower down and up, warming up into the lower body. Very good functional movement is that simple act of coming from floor to stand. So if you have a challenge with that, then you know these are the type of workouts you need to be tuning into on a regular basis. If you're able to, crew, I want the knee to come all the way to the mat and then drive to stand. Let's do four. Here's four. Drive. If that isn't available for you, you go down as low as it feels comfortable for your knee joint and your capability. I'm going to move forward a bit. Last one. Other leg, step it back. Once again, this side, going as low as we can, and then drive to stand. So in today's workout, we have 3 exercises per circuit, 40 seconds of work, a 20-second rest in between. We are supersetting upper and lower body so that each muscle group gets ample rest so that you can hit it hard again with heavy enough weight. We want load that's going to fatigue. One more. Beautiful. Come into a feet hip width position, hands light behind the ears. Hinge from the hips for me, forward fold. So we are hinging from that top of that leg bone, not into the waistband. It's like you're trying to push your bum back and touch a wall that's behind you and then drive through the heels and come to stand. Beautiful. Now let's pull those shoulder blades back together. Gaze is up a bit. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Big arm circles for me. Really exaggerate the range of motion. Make it big, and let's go backwards, really opening up the shoulder joint here. Perfect. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. Woo, I'm getting some pops in my shoulder. How about you? You might even be able to hear them in the mic. Last 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna get busy in about 20 seconds. If you need water, now's a good time to. Position your chair close by. Position your light pairs of dumbbells so that we can place the heels right on top and your heels are shoulder width or wider. You there? All right, now grab your heavy dumbbell. We're gonna start with some deep squats. Heels up, dumbbell in a goblet squat hold or goblet hold, drop all the way down, drive up. Good. So by having the heels elevated, it enables us to have a greater range of motion with our squat pattern. So I want you to see if you can go down all the way. If it is too much, get rid of the dumbbell and try body weight only. Breathe out as we press. You can also do a regular squat. Take the heels off of the posts of the dumbbells and just do a regular squat. No need to go deep if it's not working for you. All right, now we're gonna take our chair, place our right hand in the center of it, left arm's the working arm. Hip hinge, so we're in a tripod position. 3 points of contact on the ground and chair with your body. Drive the elbow up, squeeze the shoulder blades, release. Let's go. I love this particular type of row with the 3-point tripod stance. It allows us to really support our low back and then use the appropriate load for the row pattern. So right now I'm using a 30-pound dumbbell. These are heavy muscles, so I encourage you to try loading them up. See how you do. Exhale on the way up as that elbow drives up, lower down. Last 10 seconds. One more. Perfect. Shake out the arm. We're going to do the other one. I'm going to grab a quick sip because I didn't get a sip of water that time. All right. Tripod. Again, heavy dumbbell if you can on this guy. Left hand is now in contact, feet apart. They're about mat width for me. Square the shoulders, breathe out, right elbow comes up. Hip hinge, push your tailbone up to the ceiling. Hip bones and ankles are somewhat in line, or you can sit back a bit more. So I don't want to be directly on top of this hand on my chair bench. All right, you see how I'm situated back a bit? That's how I want you. We want that dumbbell to be able to go between your body and the chair. If you have your body weight directly on top of this left wrist, you're not going to have that room. A few more reps. Should be hard now. Should be struggling. If you're not, then let's try heavier dumbbells next round. Whew. All right. We got one more round and then we'll move on. Do the same thing. Heels up on a deep squat. If that doesn't serve you, regular squat pattern. All right? Grab a heavy. Heels up. Game face is on. Let's go. Now you'll notice my control all the way down and up. I'm not letting myself drop down and bouncing. And then I'm taking it slow and with control again on the way up. So here we've got ankle, knee, and hip joints involved. So whatever muscles are crossing those joints are fired up. This is definitely a more quadricep dominant move though. And very applicable if you are one of those who have a hard time going from sit to stand. Let's get in one more. Whew, all right. We're going to take the left arm for our row pattern. So heavy dumbbell. Again, maybe reflect back to that first set. How did you feel? If you can try heavier, try it. Left hand with the dumbbell. Set yourself up. Feet mat width. That other hand is in front of me, and then I'm gonna sit back a bit so I'm not directly on top of my wrist. Breathe out as I row up. Neutral spine. I'm feeling absolutely nothing in my low back. But definitely feeling a lot in my lats, upper back, and bicep. And also grip, right? You're working your grip big time holding on to these dumbbells. Woo, let's do a few more here. We'll shake out that arm. Here we go, last 2. Come on, one more. Woo, shake it out. So I hear quite often from a lot of women as they start lifting heavier weights, it's their grip strength that really fatigues first. Very, very normal. All right, that will be the limiting factor on a lot of your lifts without a spotter. Here we go, right hand dumbbell, sit yourself back, row up. After this move, we're moving on to a new circuit. Still working those legs, and we'll also now do a push exercise. So right now this row is what we call a pull exercise. Breathe out, keep those shoulders squared, not letting that right arm just drop out, right? We've got a lot of strength happening even when the arm is straight into that shoulder blade region. Last one here, up, pull, woo, baby, and release. All right, now I'm grabbing my 20s and we're gonna go down for a chest press. So take your dumbbells and place them on your thighs. And then I want you just to roll back and let your arms hit the ground. Slide your elbows so they're slightly in front of the shoulder. Breathe out, press up. So the arms are about a 45 here. You don't want the elbows directly lined up with the shoulder. We used to cue that, but now we know that elbows slightly in front of the shoulder is a better positioning for the shoulder joint. Now as we press up, we breathe out, arms go straight, dumbbells end, touching above the chest, upper belly, not the head. Now in this series, we are up and down off the mat. So we will stand when the timer goes to work into the legs using a wall and body weight only. Here we go. I want the dumbbells just to drop down on the ground. That's it. And then come on up. Using a bent knee, I want your feet hip width apart, inside leg right beside the wall. Now bend that knee so it's at 90. Press that bent knee into your wall as you now perform a quarter squat. So this is going to fire up your outer hip muscles and also work a single leg at the same time. Quite often we have leg strength discrepancies. So this is a great exercise to work through that. So I only have my feet hip width. When I got in that position, this leg inside my wall was right beside my wall. Now I'm driving the outside of that bent knee into my wall, and oh gosh, I can feel my hips while I sink down and get into this leg. This is a super good functional move, and also great if you have sensitive knees, strengthening a lot of the muscles that can be weak and cause us discomfort in our knees. Let's do the other side. Where's our setup? We want that inside leg right beside the wall and then the other foot just under the hip. So it's not a wide stance. Bend that inside leg 90 degrees. Press that knee, outside knee into the wall. Now come back. So I'm not pushing from my foot, I'm pushing from the outside of my knee. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna look straight ahead, woo, and I'm just gonna say, hello hips. So my inside hip isn't touching the wall. The only thing touching the wall is the outside of my knee and the outside of my lower leg. Go down as low as it feels comfortable. Now on the next round, if you wanna add a dumbbell, I encourage you, I'm gonna stay with body weight only. This is spicy enough for me, but I don't wanna hold you back if you can add more load. Woo, nice, hey? All right, round 2, final round. So let's get back to our chest press setup. Now remember how to get set up. Heavy dumbbells require a little bit more finesse to get down there. On your thighs, lie back, upper arms hit the ground, slide the elbows in position, Exhale, press up, dumbbells end above the chest. Now, if you want to add a little bit more into the hips, as the dumbbells come up, you can come into bridge. As the dumbbells lower, your hips lower. If you are doing that with me, make sure the heels are close to the bum and hip width apart. It's just going to give you a little bit more work into the glutes. Take it nice and slow, controlling the way down. Let the dumbbells hit the ground. Roll yourself up, go into that wall, quarter squat. So where's our setup with that, crew? Remember, feet in close, hip width, bend the inside knee, press the outside of the knee into the ground, or into the wall, and then hip hinge, quarter squat. Take a look at this working leg. Is the knee tracking? If you're in your bare feet, is it tracking with the second toe? Sitting back. Once you see me, let's get the spine in alignment. Look straight ahead and then slightly up. Whoo, and feel the hips and that quad fired up. We're doing a lot of single leg things today because, as I said, I wanted this to be a functional workout. And quite often we do have a strength difference that's quite noticeable time in the legs. So feet hip width, inside leg bends, press the outside knee into your wall. 3, 2, 1, squeeze in. So again, my hip's not pressing into the wall, it's the outside of my knee. Apologize, but we just don't have a camera angle that can really show you this. So I try to verbally cue as best I can. We're moving into our final circuit after this. We're going to take ourselves back onto our mat for a narrow press next. So you may want to drop down from what we were doing chest press to the set of weights just under that for a narrow. It's going to put a little more emphasis on your triceps, that's why. Woo-hoo. Oh, it's been a while since I've done this exercise. I need to do more. And I'm kind of leaning away from the wall too. Time. Woo. All right, so narrow press. So our setup is the same to get ourselves down to the mat. Dumbbells on thighs. And now we don't slide the arms out, we keep them tucked in. From this position, press up, lower down. So back of the arms, gonna hit the mat each time, elbows are into the side. And as mentioned, you may find that you gotta drop down on this particular move. A little less pec involvement, more tricep involvement on this guy. And triceps are a smaller muscle group than our pecs. Now we're going to go into a half kneeling position with our light dumbbells next and work the opposing muscle group, our upper back and our biceps. Beautiful. All right, now I'm using some 10s. Doesn't matter which leg you have in front. Actually, let's stand on this one. I'm going to change position. Let's stand. Feet hip width. Give me a hip hinge. Get the arms here, and then I want you to fly out on a 45. So we're not going out to the side. We're kind of allowing the arms to naturally glide behind us while we maintain this while we maintain this neutral spine. Breathe out. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Really good posture exercise here. I think I mentioned last exercise that we're going to work our biceps. Sorry, not a lot of bicep involvement. Our elbows shouldn't be moving too much. But our biceps did get it bad when we were doing the tripod rows. Woo, let's do one more here. Nice. All right, I want you to grab that chair. We're going to work into a alternating pistol squat. Super good functional move. Beginners, I want you to kickstand, drop down, drive up, other leg kickstands. So when we kickstand, it's very little amount of weight in that leg. We're trying to load up that working leg as best we can, or full on pistol. Becomes one leg from sit to stand, and then we switch. Whoop, and works our balance too. So focus your stare on something stationary. Help yourself out here. You're pushing your seat rear like you're trying to find that seat. So our last exercise of the move, we'll go back to the narrow press in 2 more reps. Last one. Good job. How'd you do? Yeah. All right. Let's grab moderate heavy. So I'm using 20s. Stack them on the thighs. Lie back. Back of the arms hit the ground. And then we just straighten the wrists and we're good to go. Breathe out. Press up. Again, it's slow and controlled. Back of the neck is long. Last round. Just let the dumbbells come on the ground. Don't worry about them from there. And then you can move them when you're in a better positioning. Come to stand with those light dumbbells or moderately light. Hip hinge, feet hip width. Elbows are going to stay static while we go on a bit of a 45 row. So it's almost like you're forming the letter V. So under the belly is the start of our V, fly away, the ends of our V, while we maintain that neutral spine. So we're sneaking in some core work in this workout too. You're welcome. Feel the shoulder blades come together. Make a conscious effort to really pull them together, using the mid-back to lift the arms. Last one. All right, now, pistol squat. My advanced people, you got an option. Grab a dumbbell. I'm gonna try 20, see how it goes. Our setup to begin is a assisted squat. So we are putting some load in that heel that's off the ground, and then a lot of load in that working leg or full-on pistol. Sit to stand. We get water break after this, okay? Hang in there. Push the hips back. Drive up, and don't just let yourself sink and drop into that chair. Control it. One more. Woo, good job, you. All right. You can grab a sip of water. We're gonna need something on the kind of lighter to moderate side for our AMRAP, which is our finisher, and I'll tell you about that when we get there. But enjoy some water, and we'll get started. All right, while you're sipping water, as mentioned, you're gonna need slightly lighter than heavy. So I have a pair of 15s. We're doing what's called an AMRAP. That means as many rounds as possible. We have 3 exercises, 4 reps that we're gonna rotate through for those entire 4 minutes. So put your water bottle away, grab your dumbbells. Let's practice them before we get rolling. Deal? Here we go. So if you want to save yourself, you can do the practice with no dumbbells. Let's get ourselves set up for a front squat. Let's drop down for 4. So feet are shoulder width or wider. Dumbbells are on the shoulders, but not resting. Sinking as low as we can, ideally elbows touching thighs. There's our 4. When we're done that, we then allow the legs to help us while we push press. 1, 2. Now, if above the head doesn't work for you, you'll do 4 bicep curls, okay? So you'll do 4 of these instead. Final move are 4 high pulls. Dumbbells are in front, palms facing. Pull up, squeeze the shoulder blades. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we just keep rotating that for 2 minutes. So I'm gonna grab one more sip of water. As mentioned, for those push presses, that might not serve you if you've got some shoulder issues or shouldn't be doing anything above the head, at which point you'll do bicep curls. So please muscle memory that, because I may forget to cue it. And our high pulls, we are moving through the upper back. When we pull, it's boom, pulling the shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. All right, we're going in 10 seconds. Grab those dumbbells. We want this to be hard, so challenge yourself. Feet set up to our squat. Dumbbells are in a racked position. Abs engaged. Let's drop down. We have 4. Look up. 3, 2, 1. Now allow the legs to help you push press or you bicep curl. Not helping with the legs though. 1 more. Dumbbells in front. High pull. 4. Breathe out. 3, 2. Be controlled. 1. From the top. 4. Front squats. 3, 2, 1. Push press or bicep curl. 3, 2. Woo, baby. 1. High pulls. Let's go. 4, 4. So it's a slight hip hinge. 3, 2, 1. Halfway. Front squat. Go. One more. Push press, or by all means, go faster than me if you want. Or slower. It's your workout. High pulls. Woo! Here's 4. I think I was feeling really ambitious when I grabbed 15s. Front squats from the top. Push press or curls. High pulls for none. Yay. Oh gosh. Cheers. Well done you. Woo. So I love doing little finishers at the end. Yes, they're challenging, but they just kind of take whatever gas we might have had in the tank and we use it all. Because look, what are you saving it for? Let's kick it up when we're working out. All right. Our heart rates are probably up there a bit, so we'll do some standing stretches before we head to the mat. Let's take the fingertips behind. I'm interlacing my hands, behind the head. Open the chest. Let the elbows pull back, lifting heart to ceiling. Doing a little bit of a spinal extension, getting a lovely stretch in that front of body. Breathe. Beautiful. Feet apart. Those of my friends with osteo, you'll just take it into a little side bend. Those of you who can, I want you to give me a really deep lateral side bend and then look up to the ceiling. Stretching side body, QL, side hip, really reaching. And then, as I said, pulling the shoulder back and then the gaze is up. Back to center. Lift up, reach up. If you have osteoporosis, you're going to stay here, lengthening in that neutral spine position. Reaching across. Now open the shoulder and then turn the gaze to your ceiling. Really reaching that hand to that opposite wall. Feeling that wonderful stretch as mentioned through the side of the body, side hip. To center. Let's use the wall to get into the pack again, placing the hand and the forearm against our wall, inside leg steps forward. We're going to lean forward ever so slightly, and that elbow's lined up with the shoulder. And then I want you to turn and look over the outside shoulder. So you should feel a nice stretch through the pec, front shoulder, maybe even through this side of the neck. It's one of my favorite stretches for the upper body. Super handy if you're like me and you sit in front of a computer a lot. This will help counteract that kind of forward fold position we get ourselves into when we start typing. All right, other side. So again, it's hand and forearm pressing to my wall. Elbows lined up with that shoulder, inside leg steps forward, lean forward, and then let's turn and look away from the wall and hold. Of course, I wear a white shirt of all days that I teach against a wall. Hopefully my raspberry pants are helping me pop so you can see me. These are great pants, but the color is very hard to match with other colors. And release. Left knee to your mat. Maybe double up the mat if your knee is sensitive. Lunge forward for me, and then I want you to tuck the tailbone under. So here's normal. Hopefully you can see that. And then there's tucked under, glute contracted, lunge into it. Oh, lovely hip flexor stretch. Inhale. Hold here if you have osteo. Otherwise, bend to the side. Let's straighten this front leg now. Now, if you'd like, you can also use your dumbbells, or if you have yoga blocks close by, to help elevate your ground. And I recommend it, especially if you have osteoporosis, because it's just going to allow us to keep that spine long. From there, you can add a little bit of flexion if you'd like, but where we want to feel this is behind the thigh into your hamstring. Mine are super tight today, so because I'm teaching the workout, we're going to stay here for a couple more seconds to allow my hamstring to release. When you teach a workout, you can stay longer on whatever stretch feels best for you. Nice. All right, let's do the other side now, starting with our hip flexor stretch. Right leg forward, lunge into it, and then squeeze and tuck that tailbone under. Squeezing your right glute. Inhale straight up. Hold here maybe, or add that lateral lean. This is stretching the big muscle in the hip called our psoas or hip flexor. And it too can shorten up with excessive sitting in your office. This is also a go-to stretch for me if I do a long-haul flight. I quite often do it right in the aisle of the airplane. Yes, I get strange looks, but you know what? My low back feels wonderful when we land while I see everybody hobble out. So go back, center, toe is up. Again, I encourage you to build your ground up with dumbbells or blocks. Let's shift the hips back, hinge over that leg, feel that stretch. Now, if doing that in the aisle of an airplane doesn't interest you, then please do that when you get to your location, your destination. Stretch out the hips. On Over 50 Fitness, we have a 7-day and a 14-day travel series that require no equipment, and there's a reason there's yoga in that, because most of us have to travel to get to where we're going for our vacation, and that does require sitting in a stationary, sedentary, static position, which the body doesn't like. Release. All right, big toes together, open those knees up. Drop forward, forehead to the mat, or if you have a yoga block, maybe build the ground up. Walk those hands forward and have the hands mat width apart. Really opening the upper back while we also stretch into the lower as well as the glutes and getting some mobility into those knees and hips. And come on up. We did it. Hey, thank you so much for joining me in this strength workout. I look forward to reading what you thought of the workout down below. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next session. Bye.